A very warm welcome again to LSK3701 Science and Technology Teaching in the Foundation Phase. I am your lecturer, Mrs. A. Karam, and you can email me on ecarrier1@unisa.ac.za. Again, the teaching and learning platform is your My Module Moodle site. Please ensure that you continuously update yourself by reading announcements and working through whatever content is added to the module site. You can also use your forums within the specific topic to discuss anything related to assignments, exams, or general queries that you need to communicate with myself or your fellow students. It will be a good way to start our community and, and help each other through this module. So no communication from Gmails. Remember, this is in line with the POPI Act, and you will find yourself getting no response from a lecturer or any person in the university should you use your Gmail account. Begin with the end in mind, and finally we are at Learning Unit 6. So I trust that you've been, working from Learning Unit 1 thoroughly until you got to Learning Unit 6, which means that you are very well equipped to be teaching science and technology in the foundation phase. In terms of your assessment, I won't go through this in detail because we do know that we had assignment 1 and we're currently busy with assignment 2. Your online exam will take place at the end of the year. Since it's a year module, your year mark will count 20% and your exam mark 80%. Problems with submissions, please, students, do not expect to submit any assignment via email. No late submissions will be accepted after the due date and time. Incorrect assignments, this is your responsibility. I get many students uploading the wrong assignment. This is your responsibility to save it correctly. I have indicated this in announcements as well, how to save it so that you ensure that you submit the correct document, avoid corrupt files, avoid plagiarism, and do not wait until the last day to an hour to upload your assignments. I would say a week before, or at least a few days before the assignment submission. Application of knowledge, we are at the 4th-year level. So remember, level 5 and 6 questions are a bulk of your paper and your assignment questions, which would be 50%. Your level 3 and 4 questions would be 40%, and your remembering and understanding would only constitute for about 10% of your exam. So we're looking at Learning Unit 6, which is planning for technology and teaching, technology teaching and assessment. The purpose of this module was communicated in the previous presentation when we started this presentation cycle. So please do visit the previous presentation. We are looking at section B again, which is Learning Unit 6, that it forms part of technology education. And an outline of today's presentation would be design process skills, theme plan based on stages of the design process, integration within a theme plan based on stages of the design process, and assessment in technology education. Remember, on completion of this learning unit, you should be able to identify and interpret technology process skills in design activities of the technological problem-solving approach. You are required to cite appropriate examples to demonstrate an understanding of concepts and process skills relating to technology, and be able to analyze and interpret the technological problem-solving teaching approach and the integration of mathematics, language, and creative teaching approach. Identify suitable context for the application of the technology approach and the integration of mathematics. You need to compile or demonstrate the ability to design your own practice based on technological problem solving, and the integration of mathematics, language, and creativity. And you need to develop theme plans according to the technological problem solving approach and the integration of mathematics, language, and creativity. And basically apply your understanding of the assessment of technology education in the foundation phase. Okay, so the purpose of this learning unit is to enable you as a teacher, to reflect on the design process skills and to develop plans that, to formulate strategies for teaching, especially these skills to the foundation phase learners. So you need to be able to analyze teaching plans, and strategies in respect of their suitability in promoting these development of design process skills among foundation phase learners. So remember, this is very important. where you take the design process and its problem solving and creative nature. They were discussed in the Learning Unit 4. Learning Unit 5 actually described the nature of teaching with computers and other technological devices. In this specific learning unit, the theoretical side of technology education is applied to actual teaching, specifically the development of learner activities. It's very important that you develop these learner activities and assessments that focus on information gathering skills, problem solving skills, and creativity. So you can see the diagram on the screen, which is the design process that is central to the development of creativity, problem solving skills, and information gathering. So this is what we spoke about just now as well. So you need to make considerations for the planning of design activities. Remember, ask yourself, what is the design process central to? It's to develop creativity. What considerations should be made for a design activity? Based on a topic, you will get many different topics in this subject area, and you need to start using examples to show your understanding, and use appropriate topic in science and technology, and follow this design stages and give learner activities per stage. You need to identify habits of body, habits of mind that are identified at each stage as well. So this is where you're going to take everything that you've learned and really apply it to, to all of these considerations when you're planning design activities. So it's very, very important that you work through the content area, and say, for instance, activity 6.1 tells you about learning in the topic of transport. So what do you think the topic transport can be described as in one in which learners will develop the intuitive ideas about how things move? How is the topic transport connected to the science, trend, energy, and change? How is the topic transport connected to technology and the systems and control? You need to work through your topics in that way. And why do you think a learner activity such as designing and making perhaps a sailboat could develop learners' understanding of cause and effect for that matter? So remember, it's very important that you need to, take these considerations in a very high understanding to be able to apply your knowledge. So if you look at the example that's given, in terms of considering technological problems in the foundation phase, and you need to develop a theme using the design process activity. In your exam and your assignments, you might get a theme that you need to follow through with, and it's very important that you're able to apply it in any topic or theme within this subject area in the foundation phase. So consider an investigation activity for a theme plan for designing and building a model in the foundation phase. When we talk about transport, intuitive idea is how does it move? Science, energy and change, technology, systems and control, the big idea, cause, and an example of making an activity, designing and making boats that can move and float on water. So these are all things you're going to consider, when you designing these activities. So if you look at your section, I think it's table 6.2, it gives you a lot of information about how you can apply your knowledge, in terms of the identifying the problem, investigating, designing, making, evaluating, communicating. This is all sections that we have been through, but now you're also applying it within the activities, when you're forming your activities to check what the students have, previously learned or understood. And you should be able to define, each of these stages of the design process so that you're able to apply it in your assignments, in your exams as well. So remember, let's think about the design, the design of certain make activities or whatever it is. If you are developing learner activities about how animals grow and change and how we should care for our pets by feeding them, you basically are considering a design of a doghouse. So, giving them clean water, and learners may say that pets need to be kept warm, to be clean and dry. And a problem statement could be made about how you need to build a house for a pet that will keep them dry and warm during rainy days. Remember, you need to start the teaching of a theme by finding out from learners how many of them have pets at home. You want to keep if they want to keep a certain pet, what would they need to care for these pets? So we're trying to get them to, to think about all of these in relation to why they're doing the activity. So when you're developing your own theme plan of design process activities, you generally use this type of table. So use a table to show how you could simplify your focus on a specific topic and learn activities using the design process. It's not very simple to have a lot of facts and where you have to read, but if you have specific focus areas in a table format, it will make it much easier to while you're developing your own theme plan. So just remember that in terms of your exam planning and your assignment planning, like work in a way where you can, just look at your paper and know exactly what you're talking about. Consider what types of skills is being developed in the making stage. How can you integrate visual, mathematical, scientific, technological skills in the making stage? It's very important that you consider all of these types of things. So you need to make the learning productive in a way where they learn a lot in your lesson, and the way you planned it, the way so think of the big ideas of biology and how they found in certain knowledge trends, and children will experience growth and change within their own understanding, and you will notice how they can become very independent thinkers and be very creative, and you get students to learn so much from each other. So if you look at the topic, how animals grow and change, intuitive ideas about biology, how do I fit? The science strand would be life and living, technology strand, structures. The big ideas, you talk about relationship and interdependence, the place, the cause and effect, all of this impact on how animals grow and change, on how they dependent on maybe they mothers, or the place that they're in, it needs to be warm so that they stay dry and protected, the cause and effect, you need to understand what effect it can have, certain things can have on them as well. And designing and making a model house for a dog, for instance, like we spoke about previously. So just remember, it's very important to develop your own theme plan of design process activities in order to go forward and to be able to really apply your knowledge well when it comes to activities. So if you go through assessment in technology education, you need to be able to identify and describe what steps need to be followed in the making stage of the design process, in terms of developing a theme plan that includes assessment using templates of an assessment plan for technology education, which includes the design stage, the learner activity and concepts and skills for assessment. You need to be able to create a checklist for assessment for the making stage of the design process, and create a checklist for assessment during each stage, so that learners are given an opportunity to assess their own understanding that could also be adapted for self or peer assessment. So it's very important to sometimes create these checklists so that students know that they haven't missed out a very important step that could make them basically lose marks. This is very important for you to take into account and make problem solving activities is developed. The second last stage is known as the evaluation stage. So this stage gives learners a chance to evaluate. The teacher leads the process of evaluation by discussing what could be considered a successful product or not, so that are required, and that they don't lose marks if it's a formal assessment. It's very important that before you discuss assessment in technology education in the foundation phase, it's important that you know that assessment is planned while a theme plan is being developed. You need to revise the theme plan described previously, and take note of the ideas given in respect of assessment. Moreover, you will actually notice that learners report all activities in design portfolios, or that is kept as a record of the design process. So these records, in terms of problem solving, and it makes students understand the problem that they were investigating, and designing a solution to the problem. So this actually brings us to the end of this presentation, because it's basically application of knowledge in the section as well. Not to say that the others were not, but it needs a lot of application and a lot of activity for you to complete within certain subject content or theme plans. So I would like you to take into account that this is a very important unit. In terms of, remember, assessments are very important, especially in this last learning unit of the module. You basically will learn how to develop learner activities organized within a theme plan and follow stages of the design process. When learners do the plan activities in a logical order, remember, you're developing their problem-solving skills. which promotes the development of technological literacy, knowledge about a problem and skills. They're also able to solve the problem that develop when knowledge and skill, in terms of knowledge and skills from science, mathematics, language, and art are integrated. So the concepts and skills that will be assessed are planned, when learner activities are planned. And this is carried out for learning, either by the teacher or the learners themselves. So the results of assessments allow teachers to think of alternative strategies to teach skills or concepts. So please work through this learning unit thoroughly and think of certain theme plans and try to do it on your own. And I think this would be a good opportunity for you to, to get practical skills for planning theme plans in your foundation phase classrooms. Thank you for listening to these presentations. I trust that it has assisted you to get started. And I know you're busy with assignment 2, so maybe this would be added information that will get you thinking and be able to apply your knowledge and content in your assignments and exams that are coming up. Best wishes, Mrs. A. Karam.